Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We're still down in the dark, deep, dank dungeon section of the bunker. I've got a lot to talk about today. I know we got a lot of dark topics today because the world is waking up to the threat that exists. I did that intro because it shows you what Gaza looks like right now. Gaza is what they want for the entire world, folks. And I'm not going to explain all of it today. I don't have time, but we will get into pieces and parts. And like any puzzle, folks, when you get pieces that look similar, you tend to group them together until they fit. And then you fit all of the pieces together and all of the puzzle. Pretty soon, a coherent picture is formed. So let's continue. Let's start. And while we do my 30-minute monologue, down below is your chance. If you're at the preparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, or on X, you can join us in the comments section. I want to start, though, with an honest question from, sorry about that, from a longtime supporter and subscriber to the channel. And she asks, if you get a chance, ask Chin Music what his recommendation would be for over 60 women taking self-defense classes. I have no idea what type of self-defense would be best for me and some female family members. Not looking for a black belt in anything, just basic skills to get away in case something happens. Now, I haven't got an answer back from Chin Music yet. He is extremely busy today, like many of us are, but he hasn't been able to answer. I'll get that answer. But for now, what I'm going to recommend is equalizing power. Equalizing power to direct at a threat. You see, hand-to-hand is what we do when we've got nothing else to use. So martial arts, right? Self-defense using martial arts is hand-to-hand. And the older you get, the harder it is to deal with someone who is both strong and young because they're flexible and they're not injured as easily. So even at my age, right, I have to be careful. You can't just judo toss someone through the air and against the wall. It's not as easy as it looks. It's incredibly difficult, and it does take a great deal of skill. However, I should say, if you want a defensive skill, firearms is it. Firearms is it. You can get instruction on that anywhere, and a bullet will stop anyone from a small, thin person to a large, heavy person like me. You can bring them down with one shot and save yourself and save your family. In America, the Second Amendment is in place for a reason. It's in there for individual as well as national defense. Do not underestimate its value and the speed at which you can de-escalate a situation, not a system. Merely pulling out your self-defense tool stops 90 to 95% of all crimes that would have taken place without that. And if the person is far enough away and they choose not to come at you, you can pull the trigger, and that's the end of them. Now, the next thing I would recommend is a knife. But the problem with the knife is if you're not fast, you're not accurate, and even if you hit your target, that doesn't stop them the way a bullet does. And they can take the weapon from you, and you can be hurt with the weapon, or they can choose to make whatever punishment they want harsher. It's a nasty subject, a nasty topic, but it's a nasty, nasty world. And we have now witnessed what a little girl, a 14-year-old girl in Scotland has done. She, in order to defend her sister and herself, while being sexually harassed, physically stalked, like a predator stalking them and following them, trying to find out about them, where they live. She had to pull both a knife and a hatchet, a small axe, if you will, and showed them, brandished them in order to defend herself. And she's now been arrested for just defending herself. She didn't cut the guy. She just said, stay back. Stay back. Defending yourself is now a crime. This shit needs to end. So I want to have some discussions here that I think are important. President Trump just said, hey, burn a flag, 1 year in prison. But I want to bring up the dichotomy between that and other things that are happening. Burn a flag, 1 year in prison. But if you're a child rapist, cyberspace executive to the Netanyahu cabinet from the nation of Israel, if you get caught in a pedophile sting, you're free to escape justice and return to Israel. But if you dare burn a flag, 1 year in jail. But the Attorney General for the United States, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the court system let this guy go. There's a big difference, folks. There's a big difference. Now, I want to read you, if I may, some lines from the movie Braveheart. Once again, you want to defend yourself, protect yourself, you're not allowed in Scotland, right? But there was a time when the Scots wouldn't take shit from anybody. Anyways, the series of lines, because the Scots were lined up against the English. And so William Wallace said, fight and you may die. Run and you'll live at least a while. But dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to sacrifice all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom? Folks, right now we have people who are threatening to take our lives, to take our daughters, to take our wives, to take our property, to take our country, to take our laws, to take our Constitution. They want to destroy everything, and they're doing it successfully, piece by piece by piece. Put the puzzle pieces together, and you get the introduction to this video. Absolute decimation, destruction, wholesale erasure from the planet. And now I want to delve into this topic. Right? I'm going to delve into this topic, but I want to start and lead into it. Let me tell you, folks. How do I present this? You know, I'm tired of having to apologize for truth and for facts, and so I'm not going to do it. Right now, there are people around the world that want to destroy all the white people. Whether you're talking about Muslims, whether you're talking about racists in America, and they know who they are, whether we're talking about Israel that wants to destroy Europe and America. It's a deep, deep and very dark topic, but I want to just start with being white. I want there to be white people on this planet, and black people, and Asian as well. I am not saying I want to get rid of any one race or people. No. But right now, there's a concerted effort to shame white people, to punish white people, to use propaganda to shame whites into self-hatred and self-destruction. I'm sure we're all aware of this. Black Lives Matter, you can hold that sign up all day. You put up a sign that says White Lives Matter, you'll be attacked. Right? You'll be attacked. There's nothing wrong with being white. Being white is what it is and who we are as a people. Just as blacks are blacks and Asians are Asians, etc. Right? But whites are not calling for the death of other races or other nationalities. We're just trying to live our lives. Right? What we should do is oppose, as natural creatures of God, we should oppose our destruction and our eradication, even our extinction from this world, because that is what is being called for. That is what is being called for by these racists in America and these Muslims in America and in Europe, and by Israel and what they are promoting. Extinction. Extinction. Any culture, any religion that proposes to kill white people, kill us, enslave us, steal everything from us, rape us, or eliminate our phenotype, how we look, they must be opposed. And if we don't, we guarantee our own death. It's suicide to not stand up. It's every bit as okay to be white, just as it's okay to be black or Asian, the other two races on the planet. But to ignore, folks, to ignore the destruction of the white European population, which is only 7 to 10% of the world's population, is a grave mistake. Don't ignore their desire to destroy us, right? As for me, I am not going to allow or condone any of these attacks. And I'm going to speak frankly and freely of those nations, those religions, those groups of people who are evil and want the death of all white people. I'm not going to be shamed into silence. I'm not going to be threatened to be silenced over the facts on this topic or any other topic for that matter. The First Amendment is the First Amendment. The only way for evil to succeed, to win, is for good men to do nothing. And I can't claim to be a good man if I don't stand up for me, my family, my country, the color of my skin, the color of everyone's skin. That's the whole point, is we all have a right to live. I will defend all peaceful peoples, and I'm going to openly call for the expulsion and defeat of all groups and all religions that call for the destruction of others. I'm talking about these people need to be expelled from the country. They also need to be expelled from Europe. And people are waking up to the groups that are calling for our deaths. Now, you can be a black European or an Asian European as long as you are European in mentality, culture, tradition, etc. It's not a problem being other colors or other races. But right now, whites are being singled out for destruction. And I've had it with this shit. I really have. To silence or punish one person or one people from defending themselves in its admission of genocidal intent, whether they admit it or not, whether incrementally or immediately, what they're calling for is genocide of white people. America is the land of the free. And all nations and all peoples have the right to exist. But where that existence must stop or be restrained when any one or group of people thinks they're going to exterminate the others. Exterminate, kill them off, genocide. And that is wrong. Right? I am white, I am American, I am Christian, I am descended from Europeans. I am not going to be silenced. I'm not going to be intimidated. My question, though, is will you? Will you be silenced or intimidated? I want to remind everyone, and I want to thank Uman for reminding, because I got a message from someone. His name is Corey. Sharia law is now operating inside Austria in Europe. That is Muslim law that says to kill non-Muslims. They will kill white people who do not convert. They will kill people. They will rape women if they deem it necessary. How can we allow that to stand? Sharia law in Europe. If you're not going to stop it, right? If you are, right? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? How will we stop it? The implementation, the allowance of a foreign system, Sharia law and Islam. How are we going to stop it if government continues to allow it and sanction it? That's happening in Europe, folks. You can't say, I like bacon in public. They're now arresting people for saying they like bacon in public in England. Anytime someone rapes a woman, all they have to do is say, I didn't know it was illegal. And they're let go. How many hundreds of thousands of women have to be raped before they stop? Apparently not enough, because they're not stopping it. But what of America? What of America? Well, listen to this BS. You may remember this name, Shiloh Hendricks. She was the woman, the blonde woman, who was holding her child, who was being verbally intimidated, stalked, and harassed by someone with very dark skin, I believe from Pakistan. And she used the vicious N-word, right? She's now facing jail time. She's being charged, folks, in Rochester City, the United States of America. The attorney's office there, the district attorney, is going to charge her with 3 counts, 3 counts of disorderly conduct because she used racial slurs against a Somali, you know, like Ilhan Omar, a woman who has lied, cheated, committed fraud, and married her fucking brother to sneak him into this country. There were no Somalis here until Obama invited in, 1 million of them? 2 million? How many did he bring in? They've taken over Minnesota. She's facing 90 days and $1,000 for disorderly conduct. So I say fuck you to the scumbag attorneys in the DA office. I believe women can and should use all manner of defense, including verbal abuse in self-defense, as well as knives or guns as needed. As far as I'm concerned now, foreigners in this country, people who are foreign born, foreign mentality, foreign culture and traditions, foreign law in their brains, and foreign religions that are foreign to the American system. Foreigners need to get the fuck out before they get buried for what they're doing to our nation. Everyone asks, when are we going to fight back, John? The time is coming. Not telling anyone to do anything illegal, dangerous, commit crimes, nothing. But it is coming time. It is coming due. The camera on our phones, well, it hasn't produced groundbreaking evidence of aliens or Bigfoot, but what it has done, it has shown us. It has shown us who these foreigners are and what they believe. Whether we're talking about Talmudic Jews, or whether we're talking about Somalis, whether we're talking about North Africans, they're getting caught on film saying the most awful, filthy things and doing the most awful, filthy things. They're being revealed, folks. And I'm not going to apologize for what I see them doing. I'm not going to do it. It needs to come to an end. But our government is selling out to them 100% at the local, the state, and the federal level. All of our governments are selling out, just like over in Europe. They're selling out. So much so that they've been invaded by millions and millions and millions and millions of non-Europeans who are not white, who hate everyone that's white and hate everyone that's civilized, whether they're white, black, or Asian. It doesn't matter. They hate them all. And they're being used. These invaders are being used to destroy and eradicate Western civilization and the white race of people. Let me tell you how they're doing it in America. I've talked about judicial insurrection since Trump has been trying to get these people out. And every time they go and get arrested, a court stops them. A federal judge stops them. So now Trump has gone and sued. He has a lawsuit against 15 of Maryland's federal judges, claiming they're using an unlawful practice of issuing automatic injunctions. And now a federal judge that Trump put in there has thrown out Trump's own lawsuit. This is not about Trump. This is about the law of the land, the spirit of the law, and whether we're going to let these pieces of shit in government steal our country from us. Let me explain. They're trying to deport criminal aliens. And this is a quote from the lawsuit. Unbelievably, an injunction, this is from any of these judges, an injunction automatically issues. The injunction is like a stay. It stops everything in place. An injunction automatically issues if an immigration attorney files a habeas petition. That's the problem. As soon as they file it, whether there's any standing, whether it's the correct venue, whether there's any legitimate complaint, it doesn't matter. They can make the most ridiculous, stupid complaint. And as soon as they file the paper, a piece of paper from an attorney that gets stamped by a judge automatically stops everyone from following the law. It doesn't, right? It's beyond frustrating. The President of the United States has been told by the Supreme Court ruled the president is within his authority to kick every last one of these motherfuckers out. But what happens? Every time an attorney files the paper, it's an automatic stop by that court. How does that work? The president's within his authority. Law enforcement's within its authority. They have no constitutional standing in this country. They're foreigners. Yet the courts want to contain and retain and use that power. The concept of estoppel is patently retarded and unconstitutional, in my opinion. I'm sick of these motherfuckers. It's judicial insurrection from the judges. In Cincinnati, we've got other issues we're going to talk about as well. It's becoming extremely frustrating for me to witness the acceleration of the attack by the Democrats on the left as we fight back against them. We outnumber them in America. Whether you're white, black, Asian, Native American, don't matter. We want our country. We want our laws, right? We want peace, and we're not getting it because the racists, the Democrats, the communists, and these illegals are all fighting against us. Just not with guns. Not yet. Not yet. This is not Europe. And we got a very important lesson from a sheriff who went to one of these judges and put several bullets in him for how he was using his court unlawfully. That has set a big example for others to follow. And I'm not recommending you or anyone else follow it. I'm just saying that is showing that, yes, evil can be stopped. It's not my choice. It's not what I want. But I think these are the things that we should anticipate coming. Right? Right. Trump has now ended cashless bail, by the way. Criminals go to jail. Illegals are going to be deported. And I think all illegals need to immediately deport themselves. I think all immigrant visas need to be revoked. I think all dual citizenships need to be revoked. Pick a citizenship and you can go to that country and stay there. And anyone who won't swear allegiance to our Constitution, and I'm talking about Americans now, I believe they should be exiled, kicked out of the fucking country. Any politician who violates their oath should be exiled and kicked out of the fucking country. In other words, all enemies of our nation, the United States of America, need to go, or they need to face prison and execution as traitors. This cry, folks, for protecting ourselves from evil is getting loud. And we all need to speak up or forever wish we had while we're being enslaved by foreign agents. And by foreign, I mean people who are different than us, not in looks, but in mentality and religious belief systems, morally as well as lawfully and legally. We've got way too many non-Americans in America, just as England and the Brits and the United Kingdom have way too many people that have nothing to do mentally, spiritually with that country. They're just living there. They're invaders and they're taking over. I don't think anybody could make a more clear argument than England, except other countries are just behind them. And I want to do and finish up with this last topic, and then we're going to get to your topics. On Fox News, Laura Ingraham got to speak with the Commerce Secretary, Howard Licknuts. She asked him how letting 600,000 Chinese students into America, American universities, how is that America first? Well, I think his answer was political bullshit. Who the fuck is Trump representing with this crap? Now, the only thing I could think of is, well, without foreign students, our university system would collapse. So we're going to let in 600,000 Chinese spies because every Chinese student that's sent here is told to gather information, knowledge, right? General knowledge, intellectual property, steal ideas from other people. They're spies. Why are we letting them in? Just to keep universities from closing. We have too many universities, and all they pump out is idiot savants with bullshit, worthless degrees. And we don't have enough Americans willing to work. So the answer isn't to keep universities flourishing because all they teach is communism, anti-Americanism, and hatred of everything European and what we are. That's it. That's what they teach. They teach communism and to hate America. So the answer isn't bringing in foreign criminal scum. Well, the answer isn't bringing in people from other countries who have lied about their credentials, credibility, experience, etc. No, that's not the answer. The answer is to close the fucking borders and everyone in America get to work. We only need so many universities and so many degrees. We need people with skills who can build things, produce things, make things. That's the answer. That's a simplified version of how this has to work. But how do we get from here, where things are fucked up, all the way to here, where we're back on our feet? Well, if this is a span of 10 years, yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to feel comfortable with it. It's not going to feel good. But if we don't, we're not going to be this country in the future. By the time this gets to here, if we don't change anything, America will be gone. America will be gone. And for those idiots who think that killing white people is the solution, they're going to find out that the few remaining elites in the world are going to own them and kill them at will. Just ask the people in Gaza, the Palestinians. Just ask them how they're being treated. Ask them why they're being picked on, why they're being attacked, why they're being murdered. The people in charge of Israel are not Europeans, folks. They're not. They're Israelis. And right now there is a massive amount of complaints that Israel is controlling America. Well, Israel's not saying kill all the brown people in America, are they? The math, folks. Once you learn to do the math, you see who the real problems are. And the problems are just getting worse. What we need to do is educate ourselves, prepare food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and understand that our country is slipping in a very painful way into oblivion. The solution, folks, isn't pretty. The solution I can't really offer. It's not my solution to offer. But there's not going to be much other choice than to defend ourselves at all costs. And I think that's really a very scary proposition. Speaking up hasn't worked. Voting hasn't worked. Protests don't work. So what is left that works? Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Folks, good folks and bad folks, we know who we are. You can meet someone on the street and you'll know in 10 minutes if they're a decent human or not. All right, let's continue if we shall. Mr. Uman, let's have some fun. We got Robin who says, are you kidding? She just repeated what he dared her to say. Oh, we're talking about Shiloh Hendricks again. Yeah, this piece of shit and his supposed handicapped. Oh, he's handicapped from Somalia. Is it because he's inbred like the rest of them? Folks, inbreeding leads to more mental issues as well as physical disabilities and deformities. So mentally deformed, low IQ, inbred Somali piece of shit is harassing an American woman who happens to be white and blonde while she and her child, who is also white and blonde, want to play. He's getting into her purse. He's stealing her shit, and she doesn't like it. And so she stands up and defends herself, and this guy dares her. He picks on her, trying to make a federal case out of it, and all he's ended up doing is embarrassing himself and waking up America. Good. 90 days in jail, $1,000 fine for feeling threatened, for being victimized by these pieces of shit. Disorderly conduct is what judges and attorneys do when they ignore the law. Over in England, disorderly conduct is what the police do, arresting people for saying, I like bacon. Ooh, that makes Muslims uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure when I hear Muslims say death to the white man, that makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I haven't gotten a chance to hear it in person yet. That'll be a fucking day. Anyways, yeah, I'm not kidding, Robin. She's being charged. Disorderly conduct for sticking up for herself and having to get angry and protect herself and her child while being stalked through a playground and verbally taunted. What do you think happens before these women get raped? Do you think that they just sit down and have a cup of coffee and a stranger comes up and somehow magically they go from here to being raped in a fucking alley or in the bushes or in a car? No, they are followed. They're chased. They're harangued. They are blindsided. They are ambushed. They're drugged. You don't want to be anywhere near these fucking people. Anyone who says, right, anything provocative. I don't know how many videos I've seen of women in Europe holding their camera up, filming themselves saying, we're being chased, we're being followed, we're being chased, we're being followed. And there's a guy following them. They're being stalked. In other words, followed with the intent to commit crimes. It needs to end. This little girl, this little 14-year-old girl pulls a fucking hatchet, an axe, and a knife out. Look, I had a knife growing up. My first knife I got when I was 4.5, 5 years old. My first gun, my first camouflage, 4.5. I'm a boy, though. I'm a boy. Boys have knives. Girls do not play with knives. They're supposed to play with Barbie dolls. They're supposed to have little cute, soft kittens and bunnies. Not in Europe, not anymore. Now daughters are going to be getting knives and hatchets for Christmas. Good, because they're going to need them. Because these fucking people will not go away. Have you seen what they do? I do not equate these third world scumbags with people who are Americans and black. Yes, these people from other countries are black. A lot of them. A lot of them are just brown. A lot of them are dark tanned. But they're not American. They're not European. They absolutely go around and destroy property, destroy businesses, harass people, steal, assault, and of course, rape. I'm sick of them. Why do we have to like it? Why do we have to accept it? Why do we have to allow it? Because of our guilt? What guilt? What did I do? Nothing. I just happened to be born like this. I happened to be born in America. I got lucky, I guess, being born in America. These people, they're absolutely worthless, low IQ, no education, no skills, worthless people. But you know, diversity is our strength, says the Democrats, say the socialists, say the anti-Europeans. Now, I tell you what, we have a great awakening in America. How many people in Chicago decided to wear Trump hats and show up and combat and fight the Democrats. A big part of that, the people realize that their money in their social systems, in their neighborhoods, their communities was being stolen by these foreigners. They're like, why are we giving our money away to these people? Yeah, no shit. We already have a hard enough time trying to justify putting our hard-earned money up into a community collective social medical system where people who don't work get to benefit from everyone who does. There's lots of problems in the system, folks. Let's fix them. But until everyone is aware of it, until everyone accepts that it's going on, until everyone in their head realizes it's a problem and it's not going away, and then they decide it's time to take action, that's when we move forward. We're not there yet, but the world is waking up. They're realizing it. Then they're going to have to accept it and take action. We're almost getting there, folks. Mr. Uman, what do we want to discuss next? What's the next topic? We got Uman says, apparently, oh, here we go. Uman says the Cincinnati police confirmed that Cincinnati prosecutors have arrested Alex Chervinsky. Now, who is Alex Chervinsky? He's the victim of the brutal beating after the concert, the jazz festival. And the prosecutors have made the arrest, overruling law enforcement. In other words, this is a political prosecution. The mayor, piece of shit. The city council members, pieces of shit. Community leaders are a bunch of racist pieces of shit. So what happened? Well, this guy, Alex Chervinsky, and a woman who ended up getting her fucking teeth knocked down the back of her throat and a huge concussion and brain injury from being slammed on the concrete or asphalt, they got their asses kicked because they went to a jazz festival in Cincinnati. Did anyone say that Cincinnati is a black-only city and that being white at a concert is going to antagonize people and therefore it's okay to beat the shit out of them, to hospitalize them, to practically fucking kill them? That's what's happening here. The prosecutors and apparently the law enforcement, the cops are pissed. It's bullshit. Right? This is going to incite more racial division because a bunch of communist, racist pieces of shit that have been elected into power are going to abuse that power. The mob is a bunch of idiots. Right? Mobocracy, democracy, not good. Right? What did this guy do wrong? What did Alex Chervinsky do? Well, he was begging for this fight, according to actual people who were in charge of Cincinnati. Now, when you go to a city, you go to a hotel, you flush the toilet, the water goes down. It goes somewhere. There's pipes that take the bad water out. There's pipes that bring the good water in. There's roads. There's bridges. There's stoplights. Right? That's infrastructure. Food comes in, goes to stores. Infrastructure. Gas stations have gasoline and Monster energy drinks. Infrastructure. That's how the system, it requires infrastructure. Do you think any of these fucking people in government office have a fucking clue how a city actually works? They don't have a clue, folks. They couldn't tell you where the water goes or how it gets treated. They couldn't tell you where the water comes from and how they couldn't tell you any fucking thing. All they do is stand up there and make racist, anti-American fucking rules and policies to destroy what built that city. Hard work from white, black, Asian, American people. That's it. Hard work is what built it. Intelligent thought is what built cities like Cincinnati, Cleveland, Chicago, New York, Dallas, LA. Smart, intelligent people. Who was running this shit? Fucking retards. Uneducated idiots. And look what's happening now. People are being abused. Now, let's reverse the roles for the sake of argument. If a black man, if a Hispanic man and his girl, if an Asian man and his girl went into the whitest of white areas. Holy shit, let's pick a white area. Fuck, I don't know, Sturgis, right? White bikers went into that area, and somebody filmed bikers just beating the ever-loving shit out of them for being there. Would anyone say, well, they were asking for it by going there? They deserve to have the shit. In fact, we need to charge that black guy and his Asian girlfriend and his Hispanic buddy with crimes of instigating violence by being in Sturgis and pissing off those white bikers. No, it's fucking ridiculous, right? We'd be going like, dude, all those bikers need to be fucking arrested and charged with fucking criminal behavior, right? Well, I can guarantee you, folks, I tell you what, I've fucking done it. I don't look like a biker. I'm not covered in fucking filthy tattoos, right? I went into a bar, folks, dressed up like fucking Joker with green fucking hair slicked back, a purple fucking leather duster jacket, no shirt. Actually, I did have tattoos. I had Joker tattoos, and not one fucking biker said a word to me. Not one of them. They didn't say a fucking word. It was quite comical. Yeah, I'm big, but so are bikers. I got a bad attitude if I want. So have bikers, right? But they aren't out there to fucking kill people and punish people and beat on people. They just want to live their own lives. Everyone wants and should be able to live their own lives. But these people that hate America, they want to destroy it. They want to destroy you and me. Wake up. Wake everyone up. Everyone needs to wake the fuck up before it's too late. But always remember, in America, we have a lot of guns. Literally, somewhere between 750 million and 1 billion guns. Owned and cared for by probably, I'm going to say, 150 million Americans. The average is like 5 guns per gun-having household. All right, let's continue. Mr. Uman, what do we want to do? What's the discussion? And we've got do stuff with Nikki. I believe this is going to be a 2-part question. She says, give Trump another 6 months. It'll be a crime here too. He's getting so bad, he's making Lincoln look like an angel. Just saying. Nunes goes to jail for feeling up minors. But y'all can't burn a piece of fabric made in China. Got it. Now, I understand wanting to defend the flag. I get it. But it's almost like he jumped the fucking shark there. Don't claim to be pro-American and say, how dare you burn the symbol of our nation, the flag, while allowing people to piss on the flag, piss on the Constitution. Let me ask you this. What's more important, the Constitution or the flag? The Constitution or some red, white, and blue material? See, they're actually synonymous, but they're not the same thing. They're synonymous, but they're not the same thing. The Constitution is what the people made to create the country. The flag is just a piece of material. What good is the American flag if there's no Constitution behind it? This show, I believe it's on Amazon. It's The Man in the High Castle. It's about what if the Nazis won World War II. They take the American flag and they take the stars off of it and put the swastika there. It's just a flag. It's just the flag. It's just a symbol. What, if someone had one of those flags, would they burn it? Would anyone care? No, it's got the swastika on it. Well, what do you care if there's nothing behind the U.S. flag? There's no Constitution behind it. Trump has jumped the shark. Get these fucking foreigners out of our fucking country before you start acting like we need to defend the country and the flag. Until you start defending the fucking Constitution. Oh, folks, we've got trouble. Nothing but trouble. And the thing is, unlike 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago, there's no place to go to. My family left Bavaria in the 1700s. They came to America. They got tired of the bullshit on the East Coast and they left Pennsylvania for Ohio. They traveled and kept traveling west over the last 200 fucking years. Ended up in California at the next ocean. Where are you going to go? We have no choice but to fight for our homeland. That's it. Hell, I made it all the way to the fucking West Coast, right? My bloodline, my family. Fuck, where am I going to go now? I went to the RMZ. I'm like, fuck it. I need to go back. There's nothing here for me. There's not my country. So I go back to Florida, right? A piece of the American stronghold to fight for the end, to fight to the end. That's what I'm doing right now, fighting to the end. There is no escape. Whether the earth is round or flat, you ain't escaping. You can't get away from these fucking people. Evil persists as long as good men do nothing. So, that's the choice. Uman says Trump is setting all the precedents the Democrats, the detards, need to finish destroying us when they take back control. This is a prophetic statement, and it is a peek into the future. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I really appreciate that statement. What Trump is doing is saying, I can do whatever I want. I'm the president. Try and stop me. Well, if you're a good guy, everyone supports it. If you're a bad guy, nobody likes it. But Trump is doing, in my opinion, everything the Democrats were doing, right? Trump claimed that they were politically persecuting him. Now the Democrats are claiming Trump is politically persecuting them. The neocons are claiming they're being persecuted. Everyone is a fucking victim, aren't they? You know who the victims aren't? Those people with power and authority. Those people with wealth and influence. Who is it that is making the changes in government? Those people with wealth and influence. They're the ones that buy our politicians. That would be Israel. That would be AIPAC. They're buying it. And they own both Democrats and Republicans. Trump right now is fixing Washington, D.C. No murders in 13 days. Ooh, man, did we get a murder today in Washington, D.C.? Or are we still murder-free? Looks like we're murder-free. No one has heard anything about, well, we haven't had a murder until now. Nope. But that looks real good. What happens if the Democrats take over? Or when they take over, if they can cheat their way into power? They still occupy California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, New York, Maryland, most of fucking Virginia, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Like, they own these fucking states. They own them. And they can turn that power against the people, and they're doing it. And Trump is, if he's trying to fight back, guess what? They're going to turn around and do the same fucking thing he is. But they're not going to go after Democrats. They're going to go after you. They're going to go after your children. They're going to go after your property. They're going to go after your rights. And they can't win all of that until they destroy the Constitution. Till they destroy your will to fight. Till they scare you, intimidate you, and make you submit to them. This is why standing up and speaking matters so much. How can a person act if they can't hear what they should do, if they can't learn by seeing, if they can't express themselves verbally to others? That is how you destroy a people. You take their free speech. That's how you do it. That little girl in Scotland opened her mouth and fought back against that pile of shit, rapist, Muslim piece of shit from another country. And then she had to brandish weapons. She was willing to fight for her life. And her own government hates her and is prosecuting her. Not a bot. H. Lynn says, I don't understand how white politicians around the world are all for Muslims and are against their own people. I'll tell you right now. Because they think they are in the big club. They think they're part of the elite that is better than everyone else. This is the only thing that makes sense. European governments are all for bringing in these illegals. American politicians are all for bringing in all of these illegals, whether they're invaders or H-1B or H-3 or whatever the fuck they are, illegals. Asylum-seeking Muslims, oh no. The fucking Gazans, get them the fuck out of here. They're bringing them in to do something very, very dark and evil. It is to breed out all the whites. It is to kill anyone that doesn't convert to their religion. These people at the top, they don't care. Just like over in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, guess what they do over there? The government there will kill those low-life Muslims if they try any shit. They're not allowed to stand up and scream and yell, Sharia law, Sharia law. No, but they're the elites. They're the elite princes of Arabia. Once they have control at the top, the people down below are told to shut the fuck up, knock their shit off, or they'll be shot and killed. And that's the end of it. But first, they need to get rid of all of the real Europeans and real Americans, regardless of race and color. But being white, you stand out easily. Wear a red, white, and blue shirt. Wear an American flag set of clothing, and you'll stand out. They'll come and kill you. This is what they need to do. And see, what will happen is they kill off the rest of the white population. There's no one to replace them. The people at the top are the elites. When I read this 15 fucking years ago, that there's going to be 2 human species on this planet in 50 years. There's going to be tall, white, handsome people at the very top, the elites. They'll be educated, they'll be intelligent, they'll rule the world. The other 99% are going to be interbred retards, because that's what they're doing. The idea behind rape is to impregnate women with your genetics, to destroy their genetics. They want all of us raped. All of these inbred fucking low IQ pieces of shit they brought in from Central and South America, Africa, the Far East, the Near East, they're here for that purpose, to dumb us down. Look at the ghetto culture. Look at these fucking morons twerking on everything, fighting and destroying Waffle House, Carnival Cruise, everywhere they go. These are pieces of shit. And I can't remember. It's all over social media. There is a black pastor who is concerned about his people. And he lays out the facts. He drops the N-bomb everywhere he can. And I'm good. I'm glad. Point out the fact that they're destroying themselves. But that's what these elite white governments want. They want to destroy everyone below them so they can remain in power and control. They're part of the big club and you aren't in it. So even if you're black and intelligent, guess what? They don't care. They want to destroy you too. If you're Hispanic and intelligent or Asian and intelligent, they want to destroy you. Now, China's got its own idea about the world. But they can't take on China until they've destroyed America and Europe. And this little elite class, right? They're going to wear their funny little hats and they're going to read their funny little Talmuds and they're going to scheme and try and destroy everyone and take control. And then it's just them at the top. And if they win, they get to say, see, we're God's chosen people. Everyone else will serve us as slaves. That's what the Talmud says, folks. And the Muslims have the same idea, that they're going to take over the world and everyone's going to be their slaves. No other religion wants to enslave the world except them. That's the people, that's the religion, that's the belief system, that's the culture that's trying to get rid of the rest of us, regardless of our color. It's just they need to start and pick on the whites, because America is a white majority. It's only 13% black. That's it. But blacks are overrepresented in commercials, television shows, sports, everything. Because they want everyone to believe that it's not a basically white Christian nation. They want everyone to believe that the world is trash, and so is America. And so just allow it to happen. LGBTQP, by the way, LGBP, that is directly out of the Talmud. And it's used to destroy cultures and countries. And they tried that shit in Europe before World War II, and it got expelled from many nations, folks. The lesbian, gay, transgender, pedophile system is to destroy a culture and its people and its children and then take over. Facts, truth. Facts, truth. Redneck Roughneck says, I see this Valentina Gomez is running for Congress and has burned a Quran as part of her campaign. Yeah, she's the one that climbed up on up in front of a podium and told the Muslims, you're not taking over, you're not coming here, I'm not going to allow it. Valentina Gomez is quite a firebrand. She was actually, I think, at the charge to start using the word faggot out loud to refer to these gays, right? She's burned a Quran. She is very loud. She's very obnoxious. I wonder if she isn't controlled opposition. That's my worry and my wonder. We're going to find out, folks. We're going to find out. I hope you're prepared. See, the best thing we can do is get prepared. I'm not going to bend the knee to Islam. I'm not going to bend the knee to Israel. I'm not going to bend the knee to a bunch of communists. I'm not going to bend the knee to a bunch of fucking inbred morons. I'm not going to do it. Right? I would rather die on my feet than live on my hands and knees kissing their fucking shoes. Let's continue if we shall. I'm too fucking old for this shit anyways. Uman says, Florida has announced that it will be using truck weigh stations as immigration checkpoints. Illegal immigration checkpoints. In other words, you have to pull into a weigh station with your semi. If you go past a weigh station, Highway Patrol will chase your ass down, pull you over, and then you're getting arrested for violating the law. They pull in. They don't speak English. If they don't pass, they don't have an American ID, they're out. Good. I love my state, but that whole anti-Semite law bullshit, that needs to be fucking repealed. Funny, that story dropped right out of the fucking news. It dropped out of the news fast. Yes, it did. Thank you, Uman. I tell you what, folks, I'm going to let it go at that. Do not allow yourself to be intimidated. Do not allow yourself to be shamed. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you and your country has created. Be disgusted with lawlessness. Be pissed off and angry at what politicians are doing. Right? You have a right to be angry. You have a right and a duty to fight for your country. Don't let them steal it from us. That is the game that's being played. We're going into a huge wealth transfer situation right now. They're going to try and break us financially, economically, socially, morally. Right? This isn't World War III with just nukes. It is the everything war. It is military, psychological, economic. It is everything, educational. It is even turned into a social and sexual war. Look at the horse shit our poor children are being exposed to. We're being attacked on all fronts. Get prepared up here. Understand, this isn't about race. This is about America and the Constitution and being a decent fucking human who obeys and understands the golden rule. Everyone else, there's the fucking door. Get out of here. We got a long way to go between being there to here. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi. God bless America. Stand up for what's right or don't stand at all.